Hello and welcome to this week's live weekly warm-up. As you can see, I got a nice haircut. This is my quarantine haircut. It was the best I could do at home. But I think it works. Real quick funny story. On the newly improved and redesigned Quick Start website, if you go to quickstartclarinet.com, you can check that out. There's a part where I have like a little bit of a teaser about the YouTube channel, and I have a video going of different thumbnails for different videos. And my hair in that is really funny, where it goes from short to long. And now I'm going to have even more exciting thumbnails with my new super short hair. But you got to do what you got to do. And I hope all of you are staying safe and staying healthy during these times. And I have another fun warm-up exercise for you this week. So this one's actually going to be building a lot off of the one from last week, where we did sort of just the 5-note scale patterns going up, transposing sort of chromatically through the keys, going up through the range of the instrument. And today we're going to take that same sort of scale exercise, but we're going to change up the focus of it a little bit, add another layer of interest, and do a little bit more of an extension and a more advanced version of it. So the one from last week, I'll play just a little bit of it to refresh your memory or show you if you weren't on last week. It's basically just playing 5 notes of a major scale and then transposing it up. So it goes. And so on and so forth, always just moving up a half step at a time. In this week, we're going to add some more variables to that and add some more layers of complexity to it. So that one from last week was purely a technique exercise, all about getting the fingers going and being really well coordinated and really knowing your major scales. Because if you don't know your major scales by heart, it's really difficult and tricky to get that down. So that one was all about the fingers, all about knowing the scales. Now what we're going to do this week is we're going to add some articulation patterns to it. So we're sort of shifting the focus away from the fingers so much and like playing the scales to more focusing on actually getting some good articulation in there and coordinating our tongue motion with our finger motion to get that all steady and going really well. So what we're going to be adding is maintaining all of the good stuff that we worked on last week. Great tone quality, great even rhythm, good consistency with the finger motion, good relaxed finger motion. Now adding in some tongue motion and tongue coordination. So with these articulation patterns, you can do really anything that you want to come up with, just sort of like pick one and stick with it. So really popular ones are the good old slur 2, tongue 2, and then you can flip that around and do tongue 2, slur 2. You can also do slur 3, tongue 1, tongue 1, slur 3. Do it where you move like slur 2, slur 2, but then you can do tongue the first one, slur 2, slur 2, slur 2, slur 2. That gets really tricky and can really boggle your mind, and is a good mental exercise too, to sort of keep track of all that and keep track of those groupings and the countings. I'm going to demonstrate maybe just a couple different ones just on like the first few keys of the scale, so you don't hear all of it. But I'm going to start off with slur 2, tongue 2. And I'm going to keep going, but I'm going to flip that around to tongue 2, slur 2. And then maybe slur 3, tongue 1. And then how about tongue 1, slur 3? So you see how when you get into some of these more advanced and more complicated ones, you really have to think about what articulation you're doing. And of course, you can go on to just tonguing all of them. The idea with doing these different articulation patterns is, number one, it makes you really focus on when you're tonguing. So that sort of can help you line up with your fingers. If you've ever played a scale or like a run in a piece that's articulated and you sort of get like, where it's like not really clean because your tongue isn't lined up well with your fingers and you're having like your fingers moving and then you're tonguing the note and get all of that weird, like messy, really dirty sounding runs. These kind of exercises are perfect for you because this really forces you to find like when you're going to be tonguing and move your tongue with your fingers. You do all of the different patterns and those more advanced patterns like the tongue 1, slur 3, or the ones where you like tongue the first one and then do slur 2, slur 2, slur 2. Let me see if I can do that off the top of my head with this pattern. Let me try. So that was kind of it. That one gets really tricky and takes a lot of brain power to really like think about what you're going to do and keep track of all those groupings, just like you'll have to keep track on lining up your tongue with your fingers when you're actually playing like a quickly articulated scale passage or run in your music. So this one is definitely more of an advanced warm-up. I would probably put this in like the fourth category of the 3-step warm-up, where it's sort of starting to transition already into like real music. This is almost like a before you do your etudes, but after you've done your warm-ups kind of thing, where we start getting these hybrid things where we've done our long tones to get the great sound, we've done our technique to get our fingers moving, we've done our articulation to get our tongue moving with a great sound. Now we have to put those finger motions and those tongue motions together. That's sort of the fourth category of hybrid stuff that really starts to get a little bit more tricky and takes a little bit more concentration to really get even like the basic quality of it. And then of course you can always take that deeper and get more advanced with it and really go for that next level of pristine quality, your absolute best sound throughout all of the range of the instrument and on every note. One other thing that you can do with the same sort of pattern that's kind of a fun way to make it a little bit more advanced and is again a sort of a little bit of that hybrid category again, is adding dynamics to it. So maybe you could do like hairpins. And again, I was doing that with the slur 2, tongue 2 articulation pattern. So that was articulations and dynamics and scales and worrying about a good tone. And the dynamics are sort of like more of a long tone thing that I like to work on, those like crescendo, diminuendo kind of long tone exercises to get control over the dynamics and volume. So when you're adding dynamics to this technique exercise, then it's again sort of a hybrid of the long tones and technique. So these are sort of more advanced and get you working more towards how things actually work in music, where we're layering things together. If you can have great sound on the long tones, you're super confident moving your fingers throughout all of the scales, and you have great tongue motion and can get all of the articulations that you want, then you can do anything you want in music. You just have to figure out how to layer those together. And you can start doing it on these simple exercises, adding those layers together and seeing what you get. So I hope this has been helpful. I'm really looking forward to hearing if any of you have been implementing these exercises. Definitely let me know in the comments if you are enjoying this and how you're liking this. Thank you so much for all of the feedback that I've gotten so far. It's always really encouraging and really motivating and inspiring to me to hear how these things are helping you. And the absolute best thing that you can do to support me is to share this with all of your clarinet playing friends, because it also supports the whole clarinet playing world in general to get this information out there, get more people practicing and digging into the warm-ups and getting down the fundamentals of the instrument so we can all sound like great clarinet players and really make music. That's what I'm here to help you do. So thank you so much for watching this. Good luck implementing this into your warm-up routine this week, and I will be back next week with next week's live weekly warm-up.